Hi, I'm State Senator Rob Sampson, and today is Thursday, February 21st. It's the day after Governor Lamont made his budget address here at the state capitol, and I thought it appropriate to share my reaction with my constituents. So anyway, here's the document. It's a pretty sizable thing, as a state budget typically is, and I've only had the chance really to go through the first few parts of this and kind of the overview that they provide us with. And I'll say that there were certain things that the governor mentioned that I thought were certainly worth taking note of. He spoke at some length about modernizing the way we operate state government and we streamline things, and that's something I'm a big advocate of. Certainly, we're pushing a lot of paper in our government agencies that we don't need to. There's a lot of modern technology that would save money and maybe allow us to find some savings. He also talked about other types of efficiencies that can be gained by combining different state agencies, responsibilities. These things I think are great ideas. I think that's where we need to be focused. I will say that more than anything, my characterization of his speech is that it was not well prepared. He seemed to be bouncing from place to place and not really focused on solutions for Connecticut, something that I would expect the incoming governor to be prepared with even before he's elected. It almost sounded at points like he was surprised at the depth of the problem the state is facing. And I find that amazing from a man who actually ran for the office, that he wasn't fully aware of what was going to be necessary to sort out our finances as a state. And I'm disappointed, to be honest with you. I think that he had an opportunity to have a very balanced approach in his state budget address and to take ideas both from Republicans and Democrats. But clearly, he relied heavily on business as usual, many of the same strategies that the previous administration used. In fact, I think that most of what he offered and even said in his speech could have been done by Governor Malloy in almost the same way. And part of why I'm disappointed is because I had this expectation that if nothing else, he was going to be forced by reality to do much more responsible things. Individual legislators, Republicans and Democrats, can tell their constituents in their respective districts pretty much anything they want to that's going to make them happy as far as what they're going to offer for legislation and what they expect to come out of this session. But the governor is in a unique role, that he has to pull all those people together and he has to offer a responsible budget at the end of the day that is balanced and that is going to result in some level of prosperity at the end of the 2 years, because he's going to still be in office and have to do it again. And I don't think he did. I just see this budget as the same bad policies that we've had over and over again. This budget spends more than the previous one, just like that one spent more than the previous one, and so forth. I think it's somewhere on the order of 3% increase in spending in the first year and 4% something in the second year. There are a laundry list of taxes. Here's a list I have somewhere on my desk here of all the new taxes that are out. It's just everything under the sun. You've probably heard of some of them. There's all the sin taxes, which to me is no way to run a government. You heard Governor Lamont come out and say that the reason why he was going to put taxes on cigarette products and vaping and sugary drinks was not for the revenue, but rather for affecting behavior. And to me, that's ridiculous. Here you are, you have a $4 billion budget deficit. Clearly, if you're putting taxes on things, it's because you want that revenue to pay our bills. And it doesn't even make sense. He's also got taxes that never before existed on bicycle helmets, car seats, even college textbooks. If you're putting taxes on things to limit their use, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have done it in those cases. So I would say the same thing I said all throughout my campaign and my entire time up here. The only way forward for Connecticut is economic growth. We have budget deficit after budget deficit, and we have growing long-term liabilities. The per person debt in this state is the highest in the whole country, and that is because of these long-term obligations, the constant borrowing of money, and the pensions that have built up over time. And we are doing nothing here to address this. Part of this plan is to refinance that debt, which is only going to push it farther into the future. These things are the exact opposite things that we should be doing. This is going to damage our economy even further. People are very aware that their neighbors are moving out of this state for greener pastures, that we're losing businesses and therefore jobs and opportunities for people because the state government in Connecticut keeps telling them that they're not welcome here. We need to have the complete exact opposite position. There's also the danger to the future. You know, our kids and grandkids are going to end up being stuck with this mountain of debt that they have to pay before they can begin to do any of the good things that he spoke about in his speech. He put some emphasis on transportation and education, but I don't know where you're getting money for these things if you can't even find the money to pay off the debt that we have now. You know, part of the reason why I'm speaking to you today is because, frankly, I'm a member of the minority. I'm a Republican senator in a state that has 36 senators. There are only 13 Republicans currently. That means it's a 2-to-1 ratio, essentially. We simply don't have the votes to pass legislation that is going to fix Connecticut in a more responsible way. We don't have the votes to cut spending in the areas that need to be done. We do not have the votes to change our business policies to make it readily apparent that Connecticut is a place worth coming to or starting a business. So I need your help. I am sincerely putting this out here because I want my neighbors and friends to be aware of just what is in this document, and that the only way we're ever going to get a response from Governor Lamont and the majority Democrats is if there is a significant public outcry. So please join me in educating your friends and neighbors about what is in this budget, why it's not good for our state, and why we need a change. I'll just end by saying that despite being outnumbered, my caucus, the Senate Republicans, and I'm sure the House Republicans as well, and certainly me, we're going to continue to advocate for responsible economic policies. I have never voted to increase spending or taxes. I will not do that. I think that the state of Connecticut spends in taxes far too much already. When the day comes that I think that we're ready for a new tax in Connecticut, I promise you I will not be sitting in this chair. Until then, I'm going to do my best to defend the Constitution, fight for a more responsible state government, try and attract businesses here with intelligent policy that manages our state's finances, takes care of public sector employees in a responsible way. I don't want to see pain inflicted on anyone, but we have to seriously take our state government by the reins and bring it into something that is sustainable on the long term. And you have my word that I'm going to do my best to represent my district and my constituents to the fullest of my ability as long as I'm here. I look forward to the next opportunity to speak with you. Until then, State Senator Rob Sampson.